shooting night for Nikola. What did you see that was different about his game or the way that the Clippers were defending him that led to that?
I have to watch the film. I mean, for him to take 32 shots and only get 2 free throws, which came late in the fourth quarter, you know, that to me doesn't add up. But I think he got a lot of looks that he makes almost all the time. I mean, shots that we've become accustomed to seeing him make at a high rate. So, yeah, 9 of 32, I don't think I've ever seen that from Nikola. But we'll watch the film once again. They outscored us 19-8 from the free throw line. So just got to look at that to see how he's being guarded and how he was able to go 9 of 32. But a weird game. You know, our defense in the first and third quarter was really good. Our defense in the second and fourth quarter was non-existent. And kind of like the other night, I think in Sacramento, that second quarter, 40-21. You know, that's the second time in the last 2 games where our second quarter has been just a complete disaster, you know, to be quite frank. So we have to figure that out. We can't like take out our starters and give up a 20-point lead. That makes it really hard. Then third quarter, we were great. You know, we come back, get back in the game, we're leading, and I think they closed. I think it was a 1-point game with around 5:15 to go, and they closed 19-11. So we just weren't good enough. I wasn't good enough tonight, and we as a team weren't good enough tonight. And just got to go home and get ready for Houston on Friday night.
Coach, what was the difference in this game versus last game against the Clippers? You came in with your full roster this time, but you seem to have a more difficult time.
Last time we won, this time they won.
Coach, I don't, like you said, it's a weird game. I don't know how much stock you put in plus minuses, but you lose the game by 9, and yet all of your starters are in the plus. That's just a weird stat looking at the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, their bench outscored ours 37-28, and as you mentioned, you know, you look at the plus minus, which to me I look at, you know, I don't base decisions based solely on plus minus, but you know, when you have your entire bench is in the minus, your starting lineup is in the plus, you know, that's never a good thing. There's got to be some kind of balance there. You know, Jamal being on a minute restriction, I probably played him a few too many minutes tonight. I thought he was great in his return. 23-6, only 1 turnover. First half, he had no rhythm because of how I ran him. And the second half, I changed it to try to give both he and Reggie a little bit more of a rhythm with their minutes so it wasn't so choppy. But listen, that's not just on Reggie, Peyton, CB, Julian, and DJ. Like this, when they play well, they deserve the credit. When they don't play well, I got to help them more. And we got to find a way because that's, as I mentioned earlier, Scott, that's just 2 games in a row where, I mean, to start the second quarter, it was a Daniel Tice show. I don't think anybody that bought a ticket to tonight's game thought it was going to be the Daniel Tice game. But to give him credit, he knocks down 2 threes. He scores one. He's got 8 points to start the second quarter, and now you're just building a hole that you have to fight out of, and then you expend so much energy getting out of that hole, and it's hard to, you know, to kind of complete that. But yeah, this is a game that was weird throughout. First quarter they shot 38. Third quarter they shot 36. Fourth quarter rather, they shot 50. Second quarter they shot 65. So talk about a roller coaster. I felt like I was back in Coney Island riding the cyclone, you know. But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. We hadn't lost to them in a while. I know they were up for this game, and they played very well. They defended us well. They got to the foul line. They made threes. They kicked their butts on the glass. You know, their bench scored 37. Norman Powell was a beast off the bench like he always is. So a lot we can learn from, and we'll hopefully use that to be better come Friday night.
Michael, on that note, what do you think is key in guarding against those lapses that might occasionally pop up?
Well, I think, obviously, your defense always starts on the offensive end of the floor, and I felt that turnovers tonight allowed runouts. The stat sheet says we had 11 for 18 points. It says they had 20 transition points to our 11, but we charted them to having over 30 transition points. So we have to take care of the basketball better, execute better, which maybe slows them down. But then they have very good one-on-one players. They have some of the best ISO players in the league, and they do a hell of a job of getting to the free throw line. As I mentioned, 25 free throw attempts. And then you give them, I mean, Russell Westbrook had 4 offensive rebounds. Tice had 5 offensive rebounds. Zoo had 2. That's 13 offensive rebounds right there. So Yeah, we didn't do much good tonight, and like I said, we'll be better next time.
Last one, go ahead, Katie.
Michael Porter Jr., really hot start in the first quarter, 11 of his 18 points. How do you balance when a guy has it going like that and maybe Nicole's not making as many shots? Do you want to get him more looks? Do you need to go back to him more? How offensively do you kind of manage that?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Obviously, Michael got off to a great start tonight and was making shots early, which was great to see, and we built a 15-point lead early. I mean, like, we looked great to start tonight. And then, obviously, in the second quarter, we weren't great, so that was a challenge at halftime is if your offense isn't going like it wasn't in the second quarter, well, that's where you need your defense. And what happened was we allowed our lack of makes to affect our defense, so now we were bad on both ends, which is a recipe for disaster. But as far as Michael goes, yes, obviously he was shooting the ball at a very high percentage, 7 of 8, 4 or 5 from 3. Have to get him more looks, and that's something where I have to do a better job of. You know, we become solely focused on Jamal and Joker sometimes from their, potent two-man game, but, Michael had it going, and he's got to get more than 8 shots tonight, and that's on me as a head coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, everybody.